And I am also giving thanks to the Tzolk'in itself and the Hunab Ku, the one and only giver of movement and measure, the great central sun and black hole at the epicenter of the omniverse, the maker and the modeler of all existence, heart of earth, heart of sky, Godsciousness itself. I am here to do your work, and I thank you for your continued energetic blessings. Greetings! I am Crispy, a Gaian, Mayan, Pleiadian emissary of light. Een Lak'esh Alakin, I am another you, you are another me. We are one Godsciousness. And today I'm going to tell you all about 2024 from the Mayan, Pleiadian, Gaian perspective. Now, I think all over the world people are excited about 2024. It's definitely a step up. We all know what kind of time we've been having in the last 3.5 years, 2,000 years. And we're ready for a change. And I promise you, 2024 is going to be a level up, a raising of our vibrations. One of the things that's overriding all of these calendars that humanity has created in the last, let's say, 5,000 years, well, 5,130-ish, according to the Divine Mayan Tzolk'in calendar. I think the Chinese calendar is a little older, actually. However, above and beyond all of that is the evolution of consciousness, which we could also call the evolution of Godsciousness. First, everything went boom, outwards in expansion and separation, which was still an illusion because everything was Godsciousness to begin with, everything still is, and yet we experimented with the experience of separation. And that may have been 13.2 billion years ago-ish, or 16.4, or who knows. However, what seems to be happening is this coming back into oneness, this coming back into the wisdom, the knowledge, the experience of oneness, that we are all one. And that is what Een Lak'esh Alakin means. Woo-hoo-hoo! We are one. There is only one Godsciousness, and everything is that. Put on your Godsciousness goggles, my friend. It's so fun. Oh, look, all is one. Now, with your, let's call them Hunab Ku goggles, which are also like truth goggles, you can see the world in a new light. And you will see that the Divine Mayan Tzolk'in calendar is about your DNA and the precession of the equinoxes. The Mayan calendar is so simple and so complex, it boggles the mind. If you don't really know much about it, here's a quick introduction. The whole thing revolves around this 13-day repeating loop that I call a pulse wave. Starts with a 1, the pulse starts and ends with a 13 and starts again. Now that happens 20 times because there are 20, here's the 20th and the 1st, and that keeps going around, happening 20 times. This 20 times equals this. Now, this, when stacked, obviously makes DNA. And it also happens to blend in perfectly to the precession of the equinoxes. It is so incredibly cosmic that it blows my mind. Which is good. We all need that, especially these days. Now, one of the most fascinating things about the combination of 13 days and 20 glyphs, aside from making this DNA pattern, is that it also makes a serpentine pattern that was very clearly explained by José Díaz Bolio. And he said, the history of Mayan civilization starts with the history of the discovery of geometry in the Ahau Khan. Khan is the name for serpent. Ahau is the name for the 20th glyph, which also represents the Hunabku, which represents the sun. And he is suggesting that the Maya recognized in their geometry of their creations that the serpent, this serpentine rhythm, this serpentine pattern is deeply related to DNA and time itself. And it is my contention that when the Spanish conquistadors found out how deeply entwined and how deeply honored the serpent was to the Maya, that it freaked them out. And that's partly why they destroyed as much as possible the Mayan information, which is only now finally coming back to light. Now, as you also may have noticed, deeply woven into Mayan culture is the serpentine pattern in so many other examples. The shirt was handmade in Guatemala, for example. So, what I'm going to tell you about 2024 is the first day of each month on the Mayan calendar. Now, just like your own birthday, it changes every year because 260 rotates around inside the 365.25-ish. And as you know, 2024 is a leap year, so we have an extra day, February 29th, and we'll come to that in a moment. So let's get started with January 1st, which this year is tone 2 of the glyph that I call star seed. Some areas call it star, others call it seed. I call it star seed for obvious reasons. Now, pairing star seed is called Een 28th. It is the 28th day of the 260-day Tzolk'in. Now, our exemplar for this day is none other than Mr. Elvis Presley. Ho, ho, ho! A 1 for the money, 2 for the show. Now, let's envision a happier, younger, healthier Elvis to be our guide for all of 2024. Now here are two high vibration phrases that I just pulled out of the ethers for us, for that day, which also anchors in the Mayan energies for the whole year, you could say. One of the phrases is transcending duality way shower. The stars in our skies are way showers. We navigate through their light. And transcending duality is the whole purpose of consciousness, in particular at this time on this planet. And tone 2, being one day after tone 1, it separates into 2, and the whole purpose is transcending duality of all people born on tone 2 and every tone 2 day. Now, the other high vibration phrase that came through to me is paradoxical abundance. A paradox is part of the vibration of tone 2, and abundance is the vibration of starseed. Now, looking back at our birthday boy, we can think that perhaps, I never met him, I don't know for sure, but it seems that the more famous he got and the more money he had, which most people confuse with abundance, the least satisfied he became. I could be wrong, but I do feel there's a lot of truth to that. And the paradox that most of us in this 21st century Western culture are struck with about abundance is we've been chasing money for thousands of years, and it ain't working, my friends. It just is falling apart. If you are familiar with, for example, the resource-based economy brought to us by Mr. Jacques Fresco, you will know that money is fake. It's not even real. It is a concept. It's an idea. And it got out of hand because the people controlling it want us to be controlled by money. And for the most part, it's true. Except for most of the indigenous cultures of the world, very much including the Maya, who have been very much controlled by the Spanish Catholic, Roman, Gregorian system, we'll call it. Controlled in the physical sense, not in the spiritual. And it is through the embracing of the divine Mayan Zolkin calendar that we can break the hold that the matrix of the reptilian, Gregorian, Roman, Catholic, Christian calendar has on us. So all of that is woven into pairing starseed, the guiding energy for the whole 366 days of 2024. So let's move on to February 1st and reflecting rainstorm. Keen 59 is brought to you by Avi Loeb, Jerry Seinfeld, and Kurt Cobain. And with Kurt in particular, it's quite easy to see the stormy elements. But what the glyph really means is the divine feminine. Now, Jerry Seinfeld has never appeared to be overly masculine to me, and I don't really know much about Avi Loeb, And that's the true message of Mayan embodiment in particular, is that every single human being has divine feminine and divine masculine powers in equal amounts, because so does Godshiousness, of course. That's part of the stranglehold we're liberating ourselves from with that reptilian, Roman, Jewish, Islamic, Christian point of view that God is a man up there, somewhere unimaginably far away. That's the essence of separation paradigm. Men and women are separate, divided, and God is unimaginably far away. And guess what? He's pissed. He's angry at us because we are sinners. But he created us. Why did he create sinners? Oh, he made that impossible test. Don't eat that one thing. But then he made the snake that lured the woman, and the woman ate it. And he didn't know that, or he did know that? No, he didn't. He mustn't have. Or if he did know, then he's a real mother, because he did all of this to us because he wanted to, because he's God. So if you would like to pry yourself out of that brainwashing, please do. I think the Divine Mayan Dzogchen can help you. Oops, I got sidetracked. All right, so the two high vibration phrases that I came up with for February 1st, reflecting rainstorm, neutralizing cleansing, and Pleiadian divine feminine. Tone 7 represents the middle column. It is reflecting in name, neutralizing in function. It is the go-between, the liaison. And the rain of the rainstorm is a cleansing and nourishing function. So neutralizing, cleansing. I love it. And the second one, Pleiadian divine feminine. Because it's tone 7, it represents the 7 sisters of the Pleiades. And, as I mentioned, the glyph rainstorm is the number one glyph out of all 20 connected to the divine feminine energies. So February, beautiful. The spiritual divine feminine energy that we need will be anchored in by February 1st, reflecting rainstorm. Now moving into March, which oddly enough on the Gregorian, reptilian, Romulan, Roman system is dedicated to the god of war. You've got all these flowers growing and coming, bursting out of the snow, but that means war on the Gregorian calendar. Oh yeah, we're supposed to ignore that and pretend it means March, up, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. Now we get to have a little fun with February 29th. That day, which happens just about every 4 years. Sometimes it doesn't, like on years that end in 00, like the year 2000, there was no leap day. But February 29th, 2024 is a day that I am predicting is the self-destruct button of the dream spell. The dream spell calendar was created in 1990 by Jose Arguelles. And it's fake. It gives everybody the wrong birthday. And it's filled with fear-inducing names like Warrior and Skywalker and Wizard. All wizards are involved in some kind of war. Am I correct? Yes. And even dragon, which has recently been revived into a more beautiful and loving energy. But for most of us, we still have fire breathing and human eating as part of our dragon mythology that we can't really separate, because the human mind, I should say the ego, works by associationism. You cannot extract all of the war from Skywalker. You hear that word and you get all of the death and destruction and war and struggle and fighting. It's imprinted. You cannot extract them. Same with dragon. Same with wizard. Same with warrior. Duh! So the dream spell is a war calendar. And it was created by a Spanish Catholic man with help from the Vatican. Okay? It has a funny little doohickey in it that is a self-destruct button called February 29th. They call this a Zero Hunab Day, which means zero God. It means no creation, no universe, no consciousness. It means nothing exists on that day. It's so funny. So if you follow the dream spell, on that day, your whole reality gets sucked into a black hole and is destroyed. But the very next day, you can pretend it's back. But why would you do that? Because it sucks your ego along with it. The whole point of it is to trap the ego in a inescapable loop that is so ludicrous that it's really just a joke. So really, it's time to climb out. And here to help you do that is the Divine Mayan Embodiment, which is 5,135 years old. So 1990 or 3,114 BC? Which do you think is more valid? Something created from the Pleiadian consciousness, or something created from Uranus? I should say his anus. Came out of his butt. Or it came out of the butt of the Pope or the Vatican Library. It was an excretion. Oh, it's so funny. It's just a game. So, that day is called Patient Deer. And the thing about patient is it means persistent. It means never giving up. And the deer is the protector of all life in the forest and the plains. So it's a beautiful energy. It's Keen 87. And our birthday exemplars are Elizabeth Warren and Loretta Lynch. Quite a powerful pair. And here are two high vibration phrases to help us get over that imaginary hurdle that actually doesn't exist. Resilient hand of protection and doorway to divination. Now, if you believe in the dream spell, that means you have a 4-year period in which people born in that time frame can be compared. And as soon as that leap year day comes in and the next group of 4-year comes along, there's no connection. You cannot make any connection between you and your parents or anyone on either side. You could be 3 days apart, February 29th and February 28th and March 1st. If that February 29th is there, completely destroys synchronicity. So it must be ignored. And once you do that, what you're left with is perfection. Now, you can use this for divination, which is what this video is all about. You look at this pattern, which is the pattern of your DNA and the Milky Way galaxy, or at least our spin around the Milky Way galaxy, which is approximately 26,000 Tun. Tun is 360 days. After February 29th comes March 1st, and after tone 9 comes tone 10. And actually, we're back to starseed again, which means from January 1st to March 1st is exactly 60 days. Every time the starseed comes around is 20 days, so that's 60 in between there and there. And we have tone 10, which is the two hands coming together in prayer, two hands working, two hands making deals. It's called manifesting starseed. So the first 3 months we've got pairing starseed, which is dot and dot, and manifesting starseed for March 1st. Here are your two fascinating exemplars, Kate Winslet and Elon Musk. Wow. He's quite the manifester. She's quite the starseed. Maybe they should have babies. No, that's weird. He's got like 9 of them already. Just leave that. Okay. Sorry, Crispy. All right. Now, here are 2 high vibration phrases that can help you bring in March. Co-creating abundance, which can also be co-creating prosperity. Co-creating is the 2 hands working together, and that beautiful glyph of the starseed represents abundance and prosperity, among many other things. And the other high vibration phrase is rational support. That glyph again represents rationality, and the 2 hands support. So March looks like it's going to be a wonderful month. Now, the other happy event that's happening in March is the equinox. I no longer call it spring equinox because it's also fall equinox. I just call it the March equinox. And March equinox 2024 is also deer, which means it's exactly 20 days after the destruction of the dream spell. Yay! And 20 days after tone 9 is tone 3. Tone 3 is also a very feminine number to the Maya. And so we've got this deer energy and a feminine energy called activating deer, which is the March equinox. This has 3 exemplars: Meryl Streep, Michael Talbot, and Carlos Castaneda. Now, here are 2 high vibration phrases to help us anchor in the year that begins on the equinox. I do believe that is a very good day to start the year. Earnest communication. Earnest comes from the deer. Communication is tone 3. Very much about communicating, moving things along in a flowing triangular motion. And feminine herbal medicine. The deer represents herbal medicine, and again, tone 3 representing femininity. So, March equinox 2024, guaranteed high vibrations. Now, moving into April 1st, we have tone 2 again, And we have the rainstorm again. Very interesting. So this is called pairing rainstorm. Een 119. Now our pairing rainstorm exemplars are Greg Braden, Yoko Ono, and Courtney Cox. Fascinating trio of exemplars for us for April. Now, the high vibration phrases that can help us navigate and negotiate our way through April are empathic, tough love. Empathic, coming to us from tone 2 again, empathy. And tough love being a fantastic key code phrase of the energy, the divine feminine energy of rainstorm. Another phrase, cacao ceremony enhances relationships. This one glyph, the rainstorm, is more connected to cacao ceremony than any other glyph. And again, tone 2, more than any other tone, is all about relationships. So, my friends, I am suggesting to you that you drink a lot of divine, feminine, ceremonial cacao, which can only be obtained from the Maya. If it was grown in any other country, that means it was stolen from the Maya at some point. And it definitely uses metal knives in the processing, many other masculine cutting, dividing, separating energies which are not used in Mayan ceremonial cacao processing. So let's move on to May 1st. We've got balancing offering. Balancing is tone 6, which, as you know about me, I portray as the rola bola. Offering is the 9th glyph, so that means it is Een 149. Now, our birthday exemplar of balancing offering is the daughter of David Suzuki, Severn Cullis Suzuki. Now, here is one high vibration phrase composed of 2 key code words from each put into one phrase. Sacred prayer for balanced family karmic stability. Seems like a lot, but it's not. It is. It could be something that is important to you for the whole rest of your life, and it probably should be. But in May, there it is. Sacred prayer for balanced family karmic stability. Thank you, Severn Cullis Suzuki, for all that you have done. June 1st, we go from May 1st of tone 6 being the rola bola to June 1st being tone 11, which, as you know, I think should be imagined to be like this. And the glyph is the 20th of 20 glyphs, Solar Chief. So we have Een 180, the resolving Solar Chief. Our exemplar is Albert Einstein and Melinda Gates. Very interesting combination there. He was quite possibly one of the smartest men ever to live on planet Earth. And she, now that she's divorced, is probably one of the smartest women on planet Earth. Certainly one of the richest, but That doesn't mean she's happy, does it? Although now that she's divorced, she's probably happier than ever before. Although I haven't met her, so I can't possibly say. Sorry. Now, here are 2 high vibration phrases. Ancestral liberation and discernment leads to enlightenment. Again, like I said, human consciousness is evolving back towards oneness, and that process is the process of enlightenment. So that was June 1st. Now, 20 days later is the same glyph, the solar chief, on June solstice. And from tone 11, going 20 comes to tone 5, empowering solar chief, which also happens to be a full moon on June solstice. I am just making an observation that this will be an incredibly high vibration day, planet-wide, day and night. Sunrise, sunset, moonrise, moonset, sunrise. It's going to be one of the highest vibration days of the whole year for all of humanity in 2024, June solstice. Empowering solar chief. I should also mention to you that day is an exemplared by Bruce Springsteen, William Shatner, and Henri Matisse. Wonderful combination. Now, here are 2 high vibration phrases that just might take it up a little higher vibration. Core purpose of ascension. I'm not making this up, dude. That's one of the possible high vibration phrases for empowering solar chief. Core purpose of ascension. Once again, a tiny little code coming from this could be what guides your whole life. And really, it is. You could say the whole purpose of humanity's existence, the whole purpose of the physical universe, is the core purpose of ascension. We went out into separation and division, and we're coming back into ascension and oneness. Oh boy, full moon, June solstice, empowering solar chief, core purpose of ascension. Here's one more. Speaking one's truth about mastery. And that's where, for me, the Mayan embodiment perspective is leading to my mastery and leading me to speak my truth about mastery and leading me to help you obtain a higher degree of mastery on this vertical path towards ascension, which we are all on. No matter where we are in our journey, even if we're down real low, we are still on the path to ascension. You can't not be. That's the thing. Eventually, all of us will ascend. We will all become enlightened. We will all achieve self-mastery, which means we will recognize oneness, non-duality. There is only one Godshiousness. I am that. We are that. You are that. He is that. She is that. They are that. We are that. I am Godshiousness. Een Lak'esh Alakin. I am another you. You are another me. We are one Godshiousness. I am. You are Godshiousness. July. Now, as we come into the 7th month of the year, we are greeted once again by tone 2, pairing. Wow, is that such a huge theme in 2024? Pairing, relationships, transcending duality. And this time it's with the dog glyph. And this is Een 210. So we're well over halfway through the Tzolk'in. And tone 2 pairing, so pairing dog. And our birthday exemplar is Mr. Robert Bly. Now, tone 2, connecting directly to the sacral chakra, is all about intimacy, among other things. And the dog is love and loyalty. So July is anchored in by intimate love and loyalty. Ooh, I like the sounds of that. And another thing about the dog is ranking and politics. And another thing about tone 2 is interdependent. So another phrase for July is interdependent politics. Now, isn't that what we really need for all of planet Earth? Just going back a little bit to paradoxical abundance and the concept of a resource-based economy. Interdependent politics recognizes that we are all on one planet. All human life shares one thing called air. We all breathe the same air. We all drink the same water. We all eat foods grown from the same soil. And the fire in our mind is the same fire as the sun. So a politics that recognizes that would help us transcend the divisatory excuse, joke for politics that has been happening for thousands of years. Would it not? All right. August 1st, tone 7, reflecting sunrise, Een 241. There he is at the top right-hand corner of the Tzolk'in. Our birthday boy is none other than Mr. Aubrey Marcus. Now, as I mentioned before, tone 7, coming back again, represents the Pleiades. The first glyph represents creation itself. So, key code word, key code phrase, Pleiadian creations. If you are not yet familiar with the Pleiadians, read some of these books. It is time. Or just listen to this 1-hour soundscape I made for you. Now, one other high vibration phrase for August 1st, coming to you directly from Mr. Aubrey Marcus, is collective unconscious liaison. This glyph, being the first glyph, is deeply connected to all of the unconscious of humanity. It's collective. It's for all of us. And tone 7 being in the middle, a liaison. So I think one of the things that Aubrey does for us with all of his interviews is he is a liaison for all of us, bringing out all of these things that come from our collective unconscious. Could be. I don't know. Just riffing here. But I think you agree with me. It's uncannily true. Now, Aubrey, being born on Een 241, top corner of the Tzolk'in, 20 days later, on August 20th, is the end of the Tzolk'in. And Keen 260 is tone 13, of course, which means transcending solar chief on August 20th. Here are two high vibration phrases: ancestral ascension and self-actualization hero. These energies are embedded into this, okay? I am just pulling them out with my Hunabku glasses. They are in there if you know how to look. So, August 21st goes back to Keen 1, tone 1, of course, the first glyph being initiating sunrise. Now, here are two high vibration phrases for Keen 1. Setting cosmic womb intentions. Cosmic womb related to the collective unconscious, you must agree. Tone 1, setting intentions. Next phrase, unconditional trust in the divine creator. You know what that does, right? Completely removes the ego from the picture. No worries, no concerns, no doubt. The whole thing about the illusion of separation is the ego, which is doubt, which is fear. If you can embrace unconditional trust in the divine creator, meaning that everything is perfect every single time, you transcend duality. It is so simple. It's all in here, my friends. I'm not making this up. So that was August 21st. Now, September 1st, we have tone 12. 2 bars, 2 dots, and the glyph of the traveler, understanding traveler, Keen 12. It's 12, 12, 12. A portal day. Woo! So exciting. Brought to you by Demi Lovato. Domo arigato, Demi Lovato, Demi. Lovato. That doesn't quite work. Demi. Domo, Demi. Domo. Demi. Sorry, Demi. Sorry, not sorry. Now, 2 high vibration phrases. Interconnected vertical path. Tone 12 represents the crystal cube, and I'm talking separate beams, 12 separate beams, not a solid cube. So each beam is connected to all other beams, and the vertical path is what the traveler is doing, understanding traveler. Demi, you are on that path. You know this. Next phrase, goal-oriented cartography. Tone 12 brings us the energy of cartography. And goal-oriented, these people, they look for a thing and they go get it. All right? So that was September. Now, we also have an equinox in September. Now, the equinox is 21 days later on September 22nd, and that means Keen 33, which is, again, tone 7 on the glyph called corn, reflecting corn. And our exemplar for the most balanced day, tied for the other most balanced day. Twice a year we have perfectly balanced days on the equinoxes. is Mr. Neville Goddard, or Goddard. Now, if you don't know much about Neville, here's all you need to know. His essential teaching was one's imagination is God, that we are all God incarnated as humans, reawakening to our God consciousness through the Christos, the power and wisdom of Godsciousness within us. My kind of guy. So he is anchoring in the perfect balance of the equinox in September. Here are 2 high vibration phrases: observing pillars of light and staff of authority choices. The choices that one must make when we are holding the staff of authority. Getting a little bit serious there, isn't it? Wow. All right. October, Een 42. Tone 3 makes an appearance. And another new face, the glyph called breath. Activating breath. Een 42, brought to you by Mr. Emery Smith and Ms. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Our 2 phrases out of a possible 130 are energizing spiritual communication and flowing inspiration. November 1st sees again corn coming in, so that means it is exactly 40 days after the September equinox. And from tone 7, 40 days later is tone 8, harmonizing corn. And this is Een 73, brought to you by Ricky Gervais and Aldous Huxley. Very interesting combination of gentlemen. Here are 2 phrases: sustenance ritual and courageously claiming justice. Wow. Put your Hunab-Ku goggles on, my friend, and you too will be able to see all of the possibilities presented to us through the Divine Mayan Zolkeen. December 1st, tone 12, once again, understanding, and this time our glyph is dusk, understanding dusk. This is Een 103, brought to you by James Lovelock and George Carlin. Now, James Lovelock you might know as the creator of the Gaia hypothesis, which had obviously been around for thousands and thousands of years, but he was the first one to publish a book of that name in, you might say, the scientific circles of the 20th century. So kudos and respect to you, James. Now, you may not know this, but George Carlin was actually a very spiritual man who loved the earth so much. I'm now going to channel George Carlin for you, just to prove that. We're so arrogant. Everybody's got to save something now. Save the trees, save the bees, save the whales, save those snails. And the most arrogant thing of all, save the earth. Save the earth? Humans can't even take care of ourselves. How can we say we're going to save the earth? The earth doesn't need saving. There's no problem with the earth. The problem is with humans. The earth's going to be here for billions of years after we're all gone. My little channeling of George Carlin. Now, 2 high vibration phrases that will help you bring in December 1st. Complex stability of lucid dreams. Again, that tone 12, the cube, complex stability, and the 3rd glyph, Akbal, dusk, representing lucid dreams, among many other things such as mystery and therefore mysterious accomplishment. Ooh, December being brought in by mysterious accomplishment. Sounds like a good way to end the year, or that 31-day period that will end the year. Now, the other special event in December, as far as the cosmos and Gaia is concerned, is the December solstice, that longest and shortest day. So amazing. We talk about the equinox being perfectly balanced. Well, how about the solstice being the longest and shortest day, depending where you are? Isn't that not also perfectly balanced? Yes, it is. You're welcome. Sorry. Now, sorry, not sorry. The December solstice is, once again, 20 days after December 1st. So the glyph dusk comes around again. After tone 12, 20 days later is tone 6, balancing dusk. Een 123 is brought to us by Drew Barrymore, Nicholas Roerich, Morgan Freeman, Bruce Willis, and Bernie Sanders. Very powerful quintet. I would love to hear them all make their own music together. Yeah, as a quintet. Balancing dusk. So here are 2 phrases to help you with your balancing of the solstice: stability through transitions and synchronistic sanctuary. Whew, our solstice. The December solstice. 2024, synchronistic sanctuary. And stability through transitions. All right, that's what's happening here in 2024 in a very big nutshell. So I guess technically we should include the 31st, New Year's Eve, although it's not really a new year. We're pretending on the Gregorian calendar. Obviously, the solstice or equinox are the places where a new year would be likely from the intergalactic and galactic and Pleiadian and Mayan and Gaian perspective. But we'll pretend that December 31st is New Year's Eve. And that is once again on the corn glyph. So we've got September equinox as corn and November 1st as corn, 60 days later, and 60 days after that, New Year's Eve, Een 133. And tone, once again, activating corn for New Year's Eve, brought to you by Joni Mitchell. Tone 3 has a very feminine energy to it, and corn is to provide sustenance, among other things, so feminine sustenance on New Year's Eve, and also practical, corn being very practical, humor. How lovely! Tone 3 represents humor and humorous communication. Practical humor on New Year's Eve. Maybe that's what those silly hats are for, and those little wee things and confetti. all of that. So, that, in a very big nutshell once again, is 2024, ending on tone 3 of corn, which means 2025, January 1st, is tone 4, stabilizing Jaguar Shaman. And I'm getting way ahead of myself here, but 2025, stabilizing Jaguar Shaman. Oh, I'm looking forward to that year too. But let's get through 2024 first. Pairing starseed year. I'm excited. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please tune in even further. Een Lak'esh Alakim, Namaste.